shows the unemployment rate stuck at a low 3.6%, which makes the question, are we in a recession, even more vexing to economists like Harvard's Jason Furman.
Normally those move in the same direction. You're adding jobs and the economy is growing. Occasionally they move in opposite directions, but what's amazing is just how opposite those directions are right now. Could be that something's wrong with the numbers we're looking at and the government's calculating them wrong. Or it could be that something is genuinely happening where businesses are hiring people, but those people aren't producing as much as they used to produce.
Applications for jobless benefits last week did decline by 5,000, but the Labor Department says the number from last week was revised upward, 10,000. First-time applicants generally reflect layoffs. The U.S. continues trying to broker a deal with the Russian government that could send WNBA star Brittany Griner and former Marine Paul Whelan back into the U.S. in exchange for Russian arms dealer Russian Victor Bout. National Security spokesman John Kirby.
We're not going to get too much into the details here of the negotiation and the proposal that we set forth. We want to make sure we can preserve a little bit on that so that we can actually have useful, productive discussions with the Russians in private on this.
After months of debate and back and forth, Democrats might be closer to passing a bill to address climate change and health care costs. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin now saying he is on board after all. In North Korea, Leader Kim Jong-un marking the 69th anniversary of the end of the Korean War by warning he's ready to use nuclear weapons on South Korea and the U.S. if further conflicts should occur. You're listening to ABC News.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The owner of the Washington NFL team, the Commanders, faces Congress today. Dan Snyder set to testify in private this morning before the House Oversight Committee about allegations over the team's toxic workplace, including accusations of sexual misconduct against Snyder himself. Another twist in the legal battle around the Spears family, as in Brittany. Her father, Jamie, is going after her in court now over the claims she made during the process to get her conservatorship overturned. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest details.
A California judge denied a motion by Jamie Spears, who wanted his daughter to be deposed, as his lawyers fight allegations made against Jamie when he was conservator of Brittany's estate. Brittany's lawyer argued an in-person grilling by Jamie's lawyers would leave her traumatized.
She wants to move on with her life.
In her ruling, the judge said Brittany likely lacks any relevant knowledge about her father's disputed conduct during her 13-year-long conservatorship, including allegedly spying on Brittany by placing cameras in her bedroom.
Lawyers for Jamie Spears say they will appeal the decision. Tobacco giant Altria now says its investment in Juul is almost entirely up in smoke. Altria put $13 billion into the e-cigarette company 4 years ago. Altria says the value of that investment has dropped 95%. It's now worth about $500 million. And it's a 21st century version of yelling at the dinner is ready. A survey by Cricket Wireless says 6 in 10 parents instead do it via text message, even if everybody is in the house together. This is ABC News.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Sherry Preston, ABC.
Looking at a very hot and humid day for us on our Thursday, with highs in the mid to upper 90s with mostly sunny skies. Into tonight, partly cloudy with just a stray shower possible, mid to upper 70s for temperatures. Then into our Friday, very hot to wrap up the week We'll head for highs in the mid to upper 90s with mostly sunny skies, but it will feel like 102 to 105, so just make sure to keep the water handy. Take lots of breaks if you're outside for any extended period of time the next couple of days. I'm meteorologist Anthony Baglione in the Weather Center.
Sunny skies and 76 degrees. We keep moving up about 2 degrees at a time. Started out 72, 74, now we're 76 degrees here on this Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us for WCAB's broadcasting. It's 9:05.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Good morning, Butch. Welcome to My Great America with Jim and Butch.
Good morning, Jim. I always enjoy getting a running start. You know, it's like an airplane taking off, getting a rolling start by coming in a little bit early and listening to you in the mornings. And you know what? This is not patronizing, but it's a tremendous treasure for people here in the county to have the opportunity to be able to sort through all of the issues and have your able and deft, not deaf, but deft, D-E-F-T, guidance, because there's so much noise in the marketplace. There's tremendous froth and a lot of just incendiary comments on social media, so it's hard sometimes, and people miss the forest for the trees. But your morning program, which has just been continuous for so many years, is the opportunity to sort of cut at the joint and really get to the bottom of issues, and it's a tremendous blessing. It sure blesses me.
Well, thank you. There's so much noise out there. I like to shuffle through the noise and get right to the facts, and I feel like my friends who are my listeners need to know, and because they are my friends, I want to share the information that might help spark a fire in their hearts and their minds to do something and stand up and fight.
Well, you're doing that to be certain, and it's interesting because that's a great transition into a program that's going to be a little bit different today. We're going to talk about the local Republican Party, the official RCGOP, the Rutherford County GOP, led by Bryson Smith, young guy, able worker, hard worker, Carl Napolitano, who's the vice chair. You know, lots of people that are on board to help make a difference in our county, our state, and ultimately the United States of America. Now, what's important for us to remember is that our nation was predicated on active engagement and active involvement. We would not be here even having this program. The station wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be oracles of what we believe is God's truth to the marketplace. So I want to remind us real quickly of some history.
Okay.
Listen to this. The meeting of the Second Continental Congress in May 1776 was well underway in Philadelphia when a tall, 44-year-old Virginian, Richard Henry Lee, stood before his peers and called for the Continental Congress to pass a resolution declaring their separation from British rule. This declaration would state that the American colonies would no longer be subject to King George III and his oppressive acts of taxation and intimidation. Yes, to those present, it seemed to be a noble action by Lee, but little did any of the delegates realize that their actions would soon change the course of world history. Congress did not vote that day, but enlisted Lee's fellow Virginian, someone named Thomas Jefferson, to draft a Declaration of Independence for their consideration. Finally, after much debate and several revisions, on July 4th, 1776, 56 brave patriots adopted the Declaration of Independence to form a new nation that was to become known as the United States of America, a nation dedicated to a new and somewhat radical proposition that all men were created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights such as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That was the start, the genesis, the fountainhead of where we are today, Jim. It was brave patriots doing what they could, inspired by God, we believe, to help spark what's become this great nation.
Well, that says it all. Created equal. Everybody's created equal.
Right.
And we have that right to the pursuit of happiness. We're not guaranteed happiness, but the pursuit of it. And that's pretty specific. We could take that same, I guess, 2 or 3 sentences out of that and make that our guideline for everyday living, because everybody is created equal. It's not shown sometimes, but that's the way it is.
Exactly. And so what we want to do is we want to give you a practical way for you to reflect your patriotism, your commitment to the county, to the state of North Carolina, and the United States of America, and a practical way for you to reflect your love of God and country is to show up tonight at the Rutherford County GOP, the official GOP in Rutherford County meeting, which is at 6 o'clock.
In the Republican headquarters right on Main Street, Rutherford. Easy to find.
You have been in that building many times, haven't you?
I have indeed. Been involved a long time. And that building is very nice and very spacious.
Yes, and there's great merchandise to purchase. There's tremendous fellowship. I'm going to give you an apologetic, which is just another way of saying a case for you coming tonight. And we're going to have a little giveaway in just a moment. But I want to remind you of this. When we look around the nation today, and we see tremendous crime problems, the American First Policy Institute, we had a report from some people that were there, and of course President Trump was one of the people that spoke, along with Newt Gingrich and others. But when you look around the country, Jim, you see tremendous crime issues that are just dotting the headlines every single day. And I was doing a little bit of research because we're called to be knowledgeable in our opinions. Don't just listen to what Uncle Joe says or Aunt Jane. You know, don't do that. Get to the bottom of things. And here's something I learned that was pretty interesting. Jim, at the start of 2022, 76.1% of the population of the top 100 cities lived in cities with Democratic mayors. 76.1%. And 16.23% lived in cities with Republican mayors. And so we not everything is causation, but the reality is more than 75% of the top 100 cities in America, based on population, have Democratic mayors. And so we have to infer some things from that. Now, we're in a county that is disproportionately conservative and Republican, but we cannot take anything for granted. And we need to keep making sure that our light shines and burns bright. And so we want people to come tonight to have fellowship, interaction, to be inspired. One of the things that Bryson is working on with the team, and I'm helping with this, is he's creating a community engagement kit. Often people will say, I just don't know what to do. Yeah. Well, he's going to create a salad bar in a kit, community engagement kit, where you'll know where your own gifts and abilities best lend themselves. Some people, for example, are great at organizing social events. Other people are great at working on the telephone or knocking on doors. Other people are great at going out and recruiting other people to come to the RCGOP meetings. And so whatever your gift and ability is, there's a place for you. It's a broad group, a diverse group, old, young, male, female. It's a place where anybody can bring their gifts and abilities and find a home and use those to the benefit of our conservative values that we never want to take for granted.
It often said, as has been said over the years, have a big umbrella. It's a big umbrella for a lot of folks who have those kind of skills and talents, who likes the fact that we're moving in a positive way and not a negative way, and make the contribution. There's a lot of folks listening right now probably that has so many skills that have never been used in this way. I don't want to get involved, but it's time to get involved.
Exactly. And I will say this on Bryson's behalf and Carl's behalf. We need you.
Yes.
Your gift and ability, you're a piece of the puzzle to keep reinforcing conservative, patriotic values here in Rutherford County, and we're not the same without you. So if you've never come to a meeting before, I'm appealing to you directly. Please come tonight. You will find it to be phenomenal fellowship. And for those of you that are more motivated, not so much by your heart or your head, but by your stomach, and I'm not being loose in saying this, here's what's also going to happen. You're going to get a free meal.
All right.
Yeah, and let me tell you what that meal is going to consist of. Okay, now listen up. Listen closely. Large, is that Cadus Cave?
Cage Cove.
A cage cake. Okay, thank you, Jim. I need you. Large Cades Cove ham, potato salad, roasted potatoes, mac and cheese, coleslaw, corn pudding, rolls, pecan pie, and red velvet cake from Aaron Ellenberg's mother. He's running for sheriff, of course. He and Randy Galloway, if he wins, would be his chief deputy. But let me say this one more time, because you know what? I have the sense, Jim, that there are people that may say, okay, that pushes me over the line. We just want you to come, because once you come, you're going to find the fellowship so phenomenal, you'll want to stay. Listen to this again. Large Cades Cove ham, potato salad, roasted potatoes, mac and cheese, coleslaw, corn pudding, rolls, pecan pie, and red velvet cake from Aaron Ellenberg's mother. Combination of fellowship and food and a phenomenal sense of doing your civic duty is what it's all about.
I hope folks will come for the first time ever. If they've never been, try it out one time. Just try us one time. See what you think.
Right, but wait, there's more.
What's more?
But wait, there's more, Jim, and I need your help on this. For someone who is coming for the very first time, okay, you've not come to a meeting before, but you're listening, 6 o'clock tonight on Main Street, right there on Main Street, the official Republican Party headquarters, we've got a gift. And it's an Accurite patriotic outdoor thermometer.
I love that.
And it, you know where this came from?
I bet I could guess Washburn Store.
No, it didn't come from Washburn Store, but that would have been a great opportunity to talk about them. A great place. You need to go, by the way. No, it came from Foothills Hardware.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, where there's going to be a live remote.
We're going to be there Saturday, yes.
On Saturday, and I'll come down for about an hour if that's okay. So we're going to give this away. Jim, I'm going to let you handle the details. We want somebody who's not been to a Republican Party event before come for the meal, the fellowship, the food, and so you tell us how we're going to do that.
Well, probably the best way would be just identify yourself and show up and tell, I guess, Butch, that you're the one who coming for the first time. You were listening to the program, and you'd love to have a thermometer. Now, I'm going to be there, but I've got to slip away and make a speech at another organizational meeting, and I'll be back. So don't look for me unless you get there real early. But look for Butch and say, I'm the one that I heard you on radio, and I'm the first time here tonight.
Okay, exactly. So we want somebody who's never come to a meeting before. It's going to be first come, first served. You'll get this outdoor patriotic thermometer. Just walk up to me. This is Butch. Walk up to me and say, this is my first meeting, and I want to retrieve my gift. I'll be there a little bit early, so if you want to show up a little bit early.
And if you're not sure of what Butch looks like, just listen to us talk and you'll recognize him.
Well, that's what happened with Ann over at the Washburn Store. And you know what, Jim? Every so often I'll be in like a Food Lion or someplace, and I've had it happen a handful of times where somebody will come up and say, and it always goes like this, are you that guy that's with Jim Bishop on the radio? But you know what? I'm extremely content to be your, I've said this many times before, to be your understudy in the county and to learn from you. And I learn every time we're together.
Well, you do a great job of what you do, and I think you do a great job as a radio announcer or a bass singer in a quartet. Moving right along.
We're going to move right along. Okay, so you're asking the question. Thank you. You're asking the question, why else should I come? Great food, great fellowship. Right around the corner, there's the incentive potentially for one person to win this patriotic thermometer. Let me give you a couple of other reasons. The first is your voice matters. You know, one of the great lies that comes from a dark pit is when a person says, my participation doesn't matter. Really?
It does.
Really? Tell that to the 638 people who made a difference in Florida when George Bush became president instead of Al Gore.
Yes.
Tell that to them.
Good example.
Your voice does matter. Primarily, your opinions and feelings are important, and they should be represented. Our democracy was built on the idea that America, as a melting pot, would have the inputs and representation would take place based on those inputs. If you have a passion for something, I was talking to somebody recently, and they said, you know what, I really love animals, and my passion is I want to make sure Rutherford County is as pet-friendly as any county around. Now, some people might say, well, that sounds like Asheville to me. But you know what? It's not. It's not. God created these creatures, and The way that we treat our elders, the way that we treat the unborn, the way that we treat disabled people, and the way that we treat animals, I really believe are matters of the heart, Jim.
A lot about us. Sure.
It says a lot about us. So, you know, for somebody that has an interest in that, they could come to the Republican Party meeting and say, you know what, I'd like to create a little task force on what we can do to jerk everything up in the county so that we're more caring for our stray pets and the like. Whatever your interest may be, I'm confident you'll find a way to plug in your motivated gifts and abilities. So number one is your voice matters. Number two, the youth especially are underrepresented, but they don't have to be. They don't have to be. You know, I talk to a lot of young people. Of course, the Republican Party's led by a 20-something in Bryson Smith. I talk to a lot of young people who look at things and say it's a fait accompli. I can't change anything. Yes, you can.
Yes.
Yes, you can. And it's worth fighting for. It's worth fighting for. So don't let all of these comments and complaints become you. Plug in. Be like the early founding fathers, many of whom were in their 20s.
Very young.
Very young. But they took it on with God's help and passion to help create a nation that is the lighthouse for the whole world. So that's number two. Number three, you have a civic responsibility. You have a civic responsibility. Now, a lot of people don't like to talk about responsibility, period. You know, a lot of people don't want responsibility. I grew up in a home where, you know, if we didn't get our chores done, there was no playtime.
That's right.
There was no playtime.
That's right.
And you had to get those things done. And in my case, my mother inspected what I did. So you didn't cut corners. You didn't tell her that your room was clean if it wasn't clean. Because number one, that would be a lie, and that would create a different set of consequences. And number two, she would check. I'm grateful for all of that responsibility that was put in me at an early age. You have a civic responsibility to participate. It's an overused phrase, but it's true. Whether it was the men that fought the Revolutionary War, the black community that protested until the 15th Amendment was passed, or women who battled for the right to vote, for suffrage, all of these issues had as the tip of the spear people that were involved. And that's why we're giving a clarion call to Rutherford County. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, it's time to get off the sidelines. Come tonight, 6 p.m., the official Republican Party here in Rutherford County. Unbelievable spread of food, great fellowship. Learn how you can plug in. It's extremely important. We don't come into our freedoms by backing into them. You need to know what your rights are, and you need to protect them. The next reason is participating is going to expand your knowledge and relationships. I learn something every single meeting. And I especially learn things when our recovering friend, Bud Byers, is there. And you know what, Bud? We know you listen every single program. And you know what? The community loves you. We're praying for you. You know, I love getting my reports when I call you on the phone and you say, Butch, sleeping, doing my therapy, I'm eating, resting, and then I just keep doing that over and over again.
Getting better.
You're working to get better, and you know what? We need you, and we know you won't be probably in the August meeting, but we're looking forward to whatever God has in the days ahead. He's a local treasure, by the way, and we have many of them that come to the meeting. So when you participate in the local Republican Party, the official Republican Party, what happens is you learn and you grow, and you become more equipped for the battle. And there's a very strong focus, by the way, on making sure that you don't go out into battle without the tools that you need. So you're going to find a lot of that. You're going to hear more about the Lincoln-Reagan dinner that's coming up. And explain why that's so important, Jim.
It's really very important. We started this a number of years ago, called it the Lincoln Dinner, in honor of Abraham Lincoln. Then we moved it to the Lincoln-Reagan because we honor such a great president. It's just a time for the Republicans and their friends to get together, enjoy a meal, usually have a really dynamic speaker to come. It's a kind of a really excellent meal. It's not pickups. It's really a good meal, and it's grown over the years. And last year we had a great time at the Foundation Performing Arts Center auditorium. That's where it'll be this year. And we encourage folks, if you've never been, try to come. And one of the things we did, I think we may do that this year, is honor our police officers.
Yeah.
Give them an opportunity to be recognized, and there'll be opportunities for folks to sponsor a table they want to sponsor a table in honor of somebody or in remembrance of somebody. You can learn all of that tonight. We'll be discussing that at the meeting tonight.
Right, and last year, the tickets sold out in 3 days.
3 days, yes.
Okay, so you need to come tonight. You don't want to miss that event. It's going to be in October. I think it's the 28th. I'm not quite sure, though. I
think it's right.
Yeah, I think it's October 28th, but you are not going to want to miss that. It's a place where people that are patriots in our county show up. It's a phenomenal evening, and the tickets go very quickly. So make sure you come tonight at 6 p.m. downtown, the official Rutherford County GOP. And then finally, the final reason for you to come, if it's not enough to hear an appeal based on the fellowship, if it's not enough, even with that incredible menu of the food tonight, remember this, your rights are probably being infringed upon right now. We're in a day and age where the culture is eroding constitutional freedoms, and we will not recognize the country. We will not recognize the country if we don't stand up and fight for what we believe are conservative values. Look, there are lots of different folks that are Republicans, and there's a lot of room for everybody. And we don't have anything negative to say about any other group that's trying to accomplish the same thing. We all need each other, and we shouldn't have any acrimony across different groups. I will say this, the official Republican Party, the RCGOP, is one where you're going to find the broadest, I believe, opportunity of ways to engage. And of course, there's a tremendous relationship between our RCGOP, Michael Whatley, and the North Carolina official Republican Party. So all of that information and the tools and the like are all there for you at 6 p.m. tonight. You come at 6 p.m., you get fellowship, you get an incredible meal, you get the opportunity to meet some of the people that share the same values that you have in the community. For the first person that comes up to me and says, I've never been to a meeting, but I came tonight, Butch, we've got this great Accurite, made in the USA, patriotic, outdoor, that needle's gonna be up here today, isn't it?
Got an eagle, excuse me, an eagle on it.
It's got an eagle on it. You come up to me tonight, you say, I came for the first time, and we want to bless you if we can do that. We also want to make sure that you know there's an opportunity that you'll have tonight to interact with a number of your neighbors and friends. And you know what? It's inspiring when you meet people and realize we're not alone.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if I may interject here, I was just thinking, sometimes we hear so much in the news, it makes us feel like sometimes we don't have a voice and we don't have a chance to get our ideas across. But when we assemble together like we will be doing tonight, we recognize there is strength there, and we indeed can make things happen. We can change the focus of our county, our state, our nation, because like-minded conservatives are working together. Don't stand back and say, well, we don't have a chance because look at all that national stuff going on. We start local. We build from local. And when we have that kind of strength that we have right now in this party, there's nothing we can't do but increase the productivity.
Exactly, Jim. And you know what? I want to say this with humility and with a quiet and gentle spirit. There are people around the state of North Carolina that look at our county and the official Republican Party here in Rutherford County,
yes,
and they will say it's among one of the hardest working, flowing, impact-driven local Republican parties in the entire state of North Carolina. That's not us saying that.
That's right.
That's not Bryson saying that. That's people on the outside saying we don't know what it is, but you're extremely motivated, disciplined, professional in what you do. So we want you to come on board. Come be a part of it. Come join the family. Kick the tires at least once. And when you come tonight, you're going to find the people are fun, the fellowship is rich, and the food is just out of this world. And I feel prompted as we end the program just to remind people, it's a large Cades Cove ham, I'll learn, potato salad, roasted potatoes, mac and cheese, coleslaw, corn pudding, rolls, pecan pie, red velvet cake from Aaron Ellenberg's mother. It's all tonight at 6 p.m. Make sure that you make a point to come, even if it's for just a little bit. We know that your heart will be richer, you'll be much more motivated, and you'll have the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I've gone to the local GOP meeting.
Look forward to seeing everybody there.
Look forward to seeing you. Come join us tonight at 6.
thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.